Hello everyone, JSimLady here. Welcome back. We are doing another Sims 4 speed build today, and before we get into that, I must tell you that I am part of the EA Creator Network, and as such I have gotten some of the packs for free. Not all of them, not even a lot of them. I bought most of them myself because I truly do love this game. So, let's get into it. We are back in the Very Color House series. We are working today on the Very Blue House, and for this one I went with a sort of traditional family home in San Sequoia because I thought it fit really well. I don't know why. I just thought of this area as being blue, I guess. I don't know. I didn't purposely set out to put houses in specific worlds or areas that I thought they fit in color-wise. I tried to mostly put them in where I felt they would fit in style-wise if I had an idea for a style. And I guess because the color inspired the style, it also became sort of like the deciding factor on which world it would go in. And so I think now in my mind I'm always gonna associate these worlds with these colors. Like, I mean, obviously green for Henford on Bagley, right? But yellow for Sulani, I don't know. I thought tropical, yellow, sunshiny, so it fit. But I have also thought of blue as being a Sulani color before, but also San Sequoia. But now I'm always going to think of blue as San Sequoia and yellow as Sulani because of this little series. Anyways, the point is, I guess my brain was picking out patterns and it all kind of fell into place, and I didn't do it consciously at first until I got to this one, and then I'm like, well, since I've done it with all the rest, I might as well do it with this one, you know? And so, again, I felt like blue just fits in with San Sequoia the best. Okay, I sped this one up really fast, way faster than I typically do, and I cut as much as I could cut down, as much as I could see, but I can't just keep rewatching the video over and over again. I will fall asleep because just rewatching the same speed build with no commentary, no music, nothing, just complete silence will put me to sleep eventually. So I'm doing the best I can here. I'm actually editing as I'm doing the voiceover. And anytime I see any large gaps, even with it majorly sped up like this, I try to stop and cut them out. But part of the reason this one took so much longer and I was so much more distracted was, well, number one, I thought the blue house was going to be the easiest, and it was not. I'll get to that in a minute. And number two, I got absorbed into a new TV show, and I kept getting distracted because I was watching it while I was building. It's called Grosse Pointe Garden Society, and it's a little soap opera-y and stuff, but it's not a bad show. I definitely recommend if you're into those kind of melodramatic soap opera-y type shows. But anyways, back to, I thought that the blue house was going to be the easiest. One, there is so much blue stuff in this game. I thought, easy peasy. I'm not even going to have to think about it. It pretty much builds itself. I was wrong. Part of the problem is that there are so many things that are blue that you do have to stop and think about it because you have so many choices available. The other part of it is, unlike red and orange, there are so many different types of blue available. For the most part, I went with a grayish blue, but there are some areas where I add a little bit of a greenish blue in, like the doors. The interior doors, they have a little bit more green in them than they do blue. Or I guess they're blue, but they're like slightly green toned or whatever. Anyways, some of the things looked full on green to me, but the game tagged them as blue, so I used them, but I didn't know if I should or not because they looked extremely green to me. I'll let you be the judge, but if you see something that looks very, very green, just know I also felt that same way. I will say that unlike with the red, I didn't feel the need to add other colors in. It happened by accident because some of the objects have a little bit of blue on them, but are actually predominantly a different color. Like some of the flower pots and stuff, the flowers are like a bright orange or yellow or white or whatever, but the pot is blue. I figured it still counts, but it also sort of accidentally gives it little pops of other color in there. I felt like I had to do that with the red because it was just so much red on red on red on red. I really couldn't see what I was doing very well. It didn't look good. It was a struggle for me. With the blue, I didn't feel that. The blue is definitely easier on the eyes in that way, at least for me. And so it was easier to put blue on blue and it be fine. But yeah, the greens really threw me off a little bit because there are some things that look very decidedly green in here. And I don't know. I don't know if it's just my screen, my eyes, the tagging system. I don't know. But you be the judge. I do like that in this house in particular, there are so many options because it really forced me into thinking about what I was adding where. You know what I mean? There are so many rugs available. I had to think about what feeling and style I was going for, and I couldn't just place down a random blue rug, you know? And so, for the most part, for this house, it's a very classic family home. I love doing homes that are like classic homes in their silhouette or their framing or like their floor plan or outline or whatever, and then adding touches that look like they've been renovated recently. So like a modern classic or a classic modern. I don't, whatever you would call that. I love doing that to houses, and this is no exception. I also felt like the blue really well with that idea of an older classic family home but renovated to be slightly more modern with the big Florida ceiling, modernish, I should say, windows, and things like that. And so that's what I tried to do with the furniture. I will say one bad thing about the blue furniture, especially the grayer blue furniture in this game, it tends to lean kind of corporate feeling, kind of office waiting room kind of feeling. And I did have to work a little bit at not letting it turn into a sort of stuffy corporate looking nondescript house. You know what I mean? I had to actually put some thought and effort into making sure there was some real character in this house. And in other goings on in my life, my daughter inherited my love of all things building and decorating in video games. Her preferred game is Bloxburg on Roblox, and it's a very Sims reminiscent type game, very extremely reminiscent of The Sims, but of course in Roblox style, multiplayer and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if the original inspiration for the game was The Sims or not. The original creator never really said. They have only ever said that it's not The Sims remade into Roblox. That's all they've said. They didn't say whether or not the inspiration came from The Sims or not. But anyways, it's very extremely reminiscent of The Sims. So you have an idea of what it's like, right? And she builds these magnificent, huge, wonderful mansion type houses. She's completely the opposite of me in that she is not overwhelmed by that kind of stuff. She will take on that kind of challenge, whereas I'm afraid to take on that kind of challenge. She takes it on like full force, head first. You know what I'm trying to say. Anyways, she builds these big magnificent houses, and a friend of hers was showing off the new Bloxburg map with his house and her house at the beach on the beach lots, and it kind of went a little bit TikTok viral. My daughter's house kind of went a little bit TikTok viral, and her friend's house too. Like, his video that he put together of their two houses kind of went a little bit TikTok viral, and that is so amazing. I've been telling her forever that she is great at building and decorating, better than I could ever dream of being. I aspire to be as good at it as she is. And yeah, she's finally gotten the recognition on her builds that she deserves. Part of my daughter's problem is she is too afraid to share her creations with people. She didn't want to share her creations with people before. And this was like the first time ever she has allowed anybody to take photos or videos of one of her houses and show it off online. And so, some of it is she just hasn't showed her stuff off before. So, yeah, I had no doubt that she would do it, but it's amazing. In less than 24-ish hours, they're at 460,000 views. And for this one little Roblox game that's been out for 9 years and only just now got its first major update in 9 years, the update certainly helped to get them noticed for sure. It was an alignment of stars with a big major new update, and then just this gorgeous. They are such great builders. I'm rambling now. That's how good at building these kids are. It makes me ramble. And it was just an alignment of stars, and they're gonna reach 500,000 views in the next hour or two, I think, because it is steadily going up, and it hasn't stopped since he uploaded the video. And it's just, I'm so proud of them. They put so much work into their houses, and they deserve it. They definitely deserve it. So if you feel like checking that out, his TikTok is space_builds. And I mean, you can't miss it. It's right near the top. It's one of the most recent ones he's uploaded, and the last time I looked, it was 470,000 views. So by the time this video goes live, it'll probably actually be over 500,000 views in less than 24, 25, 26, somewhere around there hours. So yeah, I'm sorry, I had to brag. I can't help it. I had to brag. I just think it's so cool that they're showing off their houses, their builds, and people are appreciating them. I think it's cool. Okay, I'll stop being a weird mom and rambling now and get back to my build. Some of my rambling is due to the fact that I'm getting distracted by the video. There we go again, more hesitations. I cannot cut out literally every single little hesitation. I would be at this for hours upon hours upon hours. I am so sorry, and I don't feel like I can speed it up any more than I have either. So, because there are some parts where I actually was concentrating and decorating, and so those parts will go by really fast and you'll still see the hesitations. I should have never turned on a TV show while I was building this. I should have just buckled down and built it and been done with it. It wouldn't have been this bad, but yeah, I kept getting distracted by a stupid TV show. I'm really sorry. And that ended up making this one a lot longer. But anyways, in other Sims related news, the someone, I can't remember who now, but someone on The Sims that works in Maxis posted to the official Discord that we are getting an update to Plant Sims. I thought that they might be updating Plant Sims. I was hoping that they might be updating Plant Sims because it felt like the perfect time for it and everything. But I wasn't sure, so I didn't really want to say too much in any of my videos. But yeah, as it turns out, and I'd have to find it now, hold on. Okay, I can't find it at the moment, but before I do my next news or whatever video for Enchanted by Nature, I'm sure they'll post it again somewhere else, and I'll be able to share it with you then. They are not getting a skill tree. They are not going to become a permanent state of being, but they are going to have a longer period where they are plant sims, and they're going to have a few new abilities like making plants bloom and causing an ailment, that kind of stuff. So we'll talk more about it when they post it somewhere other than some random place in the Discord. So yeah. One thing to note about this house is that one of the bedrooms is for an infant and the other is meant for a teen. Kind of like the parents had a son and then they thought they were done. They only wanted one kid. And then when the kid was, a teenager, maybe even an older teenager, an oopsie happened and they were blessed with another child. Is it just me? Maybe it's just me and maybe I overthink it a little bit, but even with high school years, I feel like it's really, really hard to decorate for teens specifically, and sometimes a little bit children as well. Although with children it's slightly easier. I would say that teens is probably the absolute hardest to decorate for, children being second hardest, and then everybody else is actually relatively easy in comparison, I feel like. infants, toddlers. They have quite a bit of stuff that's really heavily geared towards decorating for them. And then, of course, all adults, you know, they all have a lot of stuff geared towards them too. And yes, specifically in this room, the teens room, I did add some stuff that is not strictly blue because they don't come in a blue swatch. Because for some of the teen related stuff, especially like teen activity stuff, there isn't actually a lot in blue. It's kind of weird. But I thought like the flowers and stuff, a little pop of some other color that isn't blue is fine because it's still majority blue. Like it's still really, really blue. So I thought it was fine. Also, I'm just gonna show this one bathroom being decorated, and then the other two are basically just copies of this bathroom, so I'm not going to show them for time purposes. I will look at them in the walkthrough so you can see them, but there's really no point in showing what will amount to the same bathroom 3 times basically. So here's the one bathroom. And then we'll just move on to the backyard and the landscaping after that. Also, because, like you can see, there's a lot of hesitating. I just kept getting distracted by that stupid TV show. I really wish I wouldn't have. And there are so many hesitations in this video. I'm so sorry. I promise I will do better on the purple one. I don't think the other ones were this bad. This one was truly bad. I just kept getting so distracted. Anyways, oh, I guess I did mix other colors in. Sorry, lost my train of thought for a second. Not just in that some of the objects come in multiple colors, but with blue being the predominant, like that baby playmat there, or in that I needed something for a life stage, but it didn't come in that color, like the football and the soccer ball in the teen room. Some of the things I just didn't want to use blue for, like the bathroom sinks. They're black because they match the countertop, and I wanted them to kind of blend in with the countertop because the blue sinks didn't look good in a bathroom. They were very much kitchen sinks, and I did not want to use kitchen looking sinks in the bathroom. So I ended up going with black to blend them into the countertop. I figured that's a creative freedom I was allowed to take in this series. I'm not really doing the true traditional solid color challenge. If I were, these would not be full functioning houses, because in the original challenge you can't place anything in the house that doesn't come in that color. So if there is no blue toilet, you can't place a toilet anywhere in the house, and the challenge is to see how complete of a house can you make using one solid color. But a lot of the stuff in this game doesn't come in a solid color. Like that baby playmat, yeah, there's a lot of blue in it, but there's also a lot of other colors as well, you know? It's not just blue. So you'd have very few things if you were sticking strictly to the original rules. You would not have a fully functional house at all. And while I'm not trying to make Pinterest-worthy houses, I'm just trying to make decent houses that look decent and are playable, predominantly using one color. the main focus was playable. You know, they have to be usable in the game. And so I'm fine with white toilets and black sinks. I didn't purposely add in other colors like red and orange and yellow, though, because that would kind of defeat the purpose of the build. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Anyways, we're done with the speed build. Let's get to the walkthrough. Here is the front yard. Is it weird that I actually kind of like those flowers, like a lot? I don't use them very often, and I don't know how or where is best to use them, but I actually really like them a lot. So here is a better look at the front yard. And then we have the porch, some more plants there. And then this is the entry hallway. Nothing spectacular, just a basic entry hallway. A little storage and some art and decor. This is probably my favorite room in this house. I think it just came together really well. A big full gallery wall for family photos, lots of comfy seating, and then lots of stuff for kids and infants and toddlers to do as well. We also have a little office here. I'm not sure why or what your Sims would use it for. Like, I have no storyline in mind for it. I just needed to fill the space. Here's one of the bathrooms, and as you can see, it's very similar to the upstairs bathroom. The kitchen is a little small and a little weirdly shaped, but, like, it's not that abnormal for an older house, I feel like. So it works. Then we have the backyard, also split into two because I was not thinking when I placed the house this way that it was going to go so far back. So on one side we have a play yard for the kids, and on the other side we have a swimming pool area. In real life you would have a gate there and the swimming pool area would be blocked off to the kids anyways. So it's actually kind of a perfect backyard because the pool is sort of naturally closed off from the play yard for the kids. Then we go back in and we check out the little dining room. Little. It's a decent sized dining room. I shouldn't say little. There's a lot of seating in there. Plenty of seating for all your Sims and plenty of guests. Upstairs is another little hallway, family photo area. The photos on the table are just placeholders for family photos. I do that frequently. Anywhere you see those, they are not part of the decor. They are to be replaced with family photos. Then we have the nursery here for an infant, newborn, or toddler, whatever your choice. Then we have the teens bedroom here. It's really hard to decorate for teens. I did my best. And then if we go down the hallway, you can see that bathroom that you did see during the speed build. The big full family bathroom with a nice big shower tub for bathing the kids and stuff in. And then here's the parents' room. I'm trying new things and putting things together in weird ways, like that bowl with the flower bush on top of it. It looks really cool. I think it turned out really well, and I've been trying to include more of that kind of stuff in my builds. And then here's that final bathroom. Hopefully you enjoyed this build. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!